Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome back to the lab. So we have another lantern project here, and this, boy, oh boy. There's a number of lanterns that I had gotten at auction. It was a lot of 6 of them, and they're all pretty much in this condition. Broken chunks of globe and just, you know, dead bugs all down in there, and wire and all kinds of weird things going on. So I just cleaned one of them up, and I'll show you what it is. This is an Embry number 10. Now that started out looking pretty much, it actually looked worse than this one. And I had learned that this was not covered in like rust, which I thought was just layers and layers of rust. And it turned out to be some kind of grime, some kind of petroleum product. Like I had to put easy off on the globe just to get all the shit off. The globe was black like that. That's a clear globe, not a red one. Look at this. That's a clear globe. So you can tell that this is exactly how I found it. I haven't done a darn thing to it. The only thing I tested was this, and it doesn't turn. So yeah, yeah. So anyway, we get this out of the way. So this has all kinds of stuff, and we'll discuss it in a minute. I'd looked this thing over and discovered a couple of interesting things about it. But what it is, this is a DIETZ WIZARD. And an interesting thing about it, I found is some kind of weird looking thing here. And I'm like, boy, there isn't a pleat like that on top of it. I'm like, wow, this must be super rare. And I realized that this was the remnants of a reflector. And if you look up here, you see the 2 holes for the top of the reflector. And there's something going on here. I don't know if that is a patch or if they attempted to take off part of the reflector. I don't know how the reflector was attached to this WIZARD, so I'm not sure. I don't know where this came from, unless they had another WIZARD and cut it out of the air tube, but that's super thick. I don't know, man. So this must have been a hunk of the reflector, because they couldn't get this part of the reflector off, so they cut it all the way around with tin snips and then beat it down with a hammer. Hopefully I can get that all. I don't know why they didn't desolder it. Not sure. I'm assuming that is soldered on and not something weird going on there that prompted them to do that. And there's all kinds of funny other things going on here. So, oh geez, it won't even fit. It won't even fit in my table because of that bail. I gotta fix that right away and get that off there. But I'm encouraged that I'm hoping that there is just a shit ton of some kind of crap on here, and that's not rust. This is a WIZARD. It's very nice. And we'll get a born-on date once we get it cleaned up. I think I saw a 13 there, so that was the last. I don't know if that's a patent date or a build date. I don't think they started putting the build dates on until 12 or 13, so we'll see. We'll see what we find under there. Okay, let's check it out, man. Okay, so we got kind of a new camera angle here, and that is because my normal bracket that holds my phone busted on me yesterday. And I went back to, I kind of finagled something together to hold the camera. So it actually looks pretty good right there. Everybody's kind of square on the, okay, cool. So, all right, so anyway, we'll start with this. And I noticed that it is a D-light, and that kind of makes me feel good. I got a ton of D-light globes, but the thing is, I'm glad it wasn't a WIZARD globe that got broken. Because, of course, I've never had a WIZARD globe, so that's why I would have been really bummed if that was a WIZARD globe that broke and not the D-light. Okay. All right. Well, first of all, we gotta fix that. We gotta get that off of there for sure. Very interesting old. I don't know if you want to call it a field repair. I think somebody did not want that to move for sure. They wanted that to stay straight up. Wow, this thing was anchored all over. Wow. Okay, good, good, good. All right. Now, we got this little bit here. I can pound that out. Can I get this out? Okay. Great. Great. I can get that dent out of there and restore that. At least I'll try anyway. Okay, we'll clean that up. Bugs. Bugs, bugs, bugs. All right, let's explore. You're not allowed to make a left-hand turn. What's your excuse? And I said, Your Honor, and I told him the story, and I said, oh, no way. This was a Buckeye dash lamp. This had a freaking Buckeye. Son of a gun. Wow. Breaking my heart, man, because this would have been very cool to have. I would love to have a Blizzard dash or a Wizard dash or a Blizzard dash. Wow. You can see right here, here's the two posts. So they couldn't unsolder them. So they just kind of cut them off and sanded them down. That's what it looks like. Yeah, right there. Oh, that's why this has got no globe guards on it. There's no globe guards. But this was a dash. Son of a gun. I know I don't have a DIETZ globe plate that's in good shape. I know it already from a past project that just finished too. Well, that's too bad. But I don't think we need it. I think we're gonna go without it. Yeah. Okay. So let's check out all our other systems here and see. Make sure we can get all this stuff out of here. Okay, that's not moving. Oh boy, I hope we don't have a debacle, a burner debacle. Oh yeah, there's all this modification too. Lots of globs of solder. I can clean all that up once we get to that point. And I don't know if I want to take this off or leave it on. That's a glob of solder, which kind of tells me that this was added. It's not factory. I mean, I don't think. I wonder what they covered up. I wonder if there must be a dent under there. There's a little bit of a kind of little something with the pleat here. Just bent a little bit. Oh, let's show you. Let's check our patent numbers here just for fun. Must be that Windows 2000. All right, so here we have. Okay, M number is that? It's like M516. So this is a 1916. Kind of want to leave that on there. I want to get rid of that little blob of solder. Actually, I did probably. Why am I doing that now? Be a dummy. We got plenty of other things to do first. Okay, so let me get some more big chunks off of here. It's also letting me explore and look and see what kind of metal we're dealing with, and what's grime, what's rust, what's paint. I am seeing paint underneath layers of grime. Grime. Yeah, look at all that. So I'm trying to get the big chunks off, because when I go to the bench grinder, which is off to my left here on the table. Wow. And behind me is the door to my kitchen. So when I use the bench grinder, all this dirt just kind of goes aerosol and just coats everything. I got kind of a curtain up. I call it my dust curtain. But still, rust or dust gets all through the house. So I'm trying to get the big lumps off. At the same time, I'm exploring and looking and seeing what we're dealing with here. Of just being like an anteater and just kind of sampling areas just to see if we get, you know, globs of rust, or is it globs of some kind of crap. It looks like crap right now. Yeah, so what it seems to me is that, and judging by this, they didn't have the means to unsolder, or didn't know how. I can see a glob of solder there, and I can see where they cut off the wire, and it would come up here and go here and come over here. So for the reflector, so they just cut them off. Okay, so maybe I'll do that now. Maybe I'll start by trying to get that hunk off after I put a little bit of lube here.
Wanted to follow up with Clark regarding the Part 73. Well, he was broadcast lawyers after looking at the.
I don't think that's this part of the burner's not stuck to anything here. I don't think, but I'm still doing it.
What happens if I choose to identify it Echo India 3 India Echo, and I no longer want you guys to use.
So this will be interesting. Boy, I need to burn this, and I'll put some here. Let me kind of hold this upside down while I just holding this upside down for a minute, letting that coil get down in with that filler cap. So I'm cleaning up this shit while I'm holding that upside down. And the coil is really good at creeping in. It even creeps upward. This is pretty cool. And I should do it for that. Okay, so let's try. Let's see. And look at that nice bold wizard embossing right there. Okay, so let's make some heat here. All right, there it comes. Oh, my torch is going dead. Okay, let me fill it up. There. Okay, now let me clean up this mess and then we'll clean that up. Now that we have it off. Alright, so let's tie this baby down. Okay, so now we got my torch. Get a little hunk of rag. Yeah, I got my little solder wiping off rag. Okay. Big lumps are gone. I'll come back and get the small lumps there. All this stuff once we get it on the bench grinder and reveal a little bit more of that. Well, you know what? I'm gonna get this off of here because something tells me that this burner is going to be a real problem, and I'd like to get these little tabs from the Buckeye out of here. Wish I had a spare Buckeye to throw in it. I actually have lenses, but I'm not sure if they're for Buckeyes or not. I actually got them at an estate sale that I also found a couple lanterns at. Well, I have them right here. Yeah, I don't know. Not sure if these were out of something or not. That would be your Buckeye, just like that, right there. Okay, this will clean up just beautifully. All right, now let's worry about that burner. Now, I've been worried about it. All right, I'll be right back. All right, so I'm going to give this thing a little bit of assistance. Get under these tabs a little bit. Okay, well, I'm going to try this just with a little twist and see how we're doing on the cat. All right. That's good news because we may need to do the coil inside the tank kind of thing.
Echo India 3, India Echo.
Okay, now there's a brass cap, so we'll clean that up. Ah, shit. Ah. Well, this is a dash, so it has a baffle. So I can't get coil to the underside of the burner. Nope, son of a bitch. Okay. Son of a bitch. Oh. Usually you can loosen these up. Oh, there you go. The wick sounds crunchy in there, unfortunately. Alright. Let's start feeling her out here.
Steampunk. Steampunk.
Ah. beautiful. Ah, yeah, look at that. It was all stuffed down in there because of that buffle or baffle. Buffle.
Boy, his voice sounds kind of messed up.
Yeah, that's Gavin Newsom.
I hear nothing. What do you guys hear?
There's some guy who sounds like Governor Gavin Newsom from California.
Okay, we'll clean that up and reuse that for sure. Wow, that's pretty toasty compared to the rest of this thing. It'll clean up fine though. Ooh, holy shit.
Yeah, he's way, way down, and I've got a quiet location, but yeah, he's there. I just can't hear much of what he's saying.
Wow. What do we got here? Seeds, nuts, flakes of rust, insect, larvae, insect wings, legs, and thorax.
And then they kind of like faded, and then that blended into the space.
Okay, so there's no paint. Well, there is paint, but it's underneath some
And
shit.
you got into like the froggy era.
Kind of like the Three Stooges.
So I'll wait till we get it cleaned up to see what I got here and clean that up.
But the Three Stooges were always themselves the entire time that they were on.
No, well, I mean, they had a rotating cast.
What? Three Stooges?
That they changed?
That's new.
Absolutely. So, all right, after the Ted Healy, when we're not talking about Ted Healy times when, you know, they were doing vaudeville. But so, yeah, it started out with Mo, Larry, and Shemp. Yeah, Shemp was one of the brothers, too. And then Mo, Larry, and Shemp went on to actually do movies. And then Mo, Larry, and Curly. And then Curly had a stroke, I think, in 47 and did one more. But you could tell it affected him. You could see he was really slowed down. And then Shemp came back for a while. And then, I don't know if Shemp died. I think he did. And then Joe Besser. Joe Besser kind of came in for a little while. And then Curly Joe Dorita. Dorita? Yeah, Curly Joe Dorita joined it. It was the last one, I think.
Okay, well, we're already making some good headway here. Getting this baby back to normal. I would really like to return this to being a dash. Because, for one thing, we got this. No globe plate. And it's in beautiful shape. And we got this. I think this is going to be in really nice shape. I don't know what that's all about yet. I don't know. I can't imagine it being a hole. I don't know. I'm assuming that this was a portion of the like side mount. Maybe this was like a left side or a right side dash. I'm assuming maybe this is where the side plate mounted up.
You know, you're doing okay.
For structural.
It's a little bit of a struggle, but I'm hearing you here.
I don't think there's dents underneath there. I don't think, but I'll see. I'll take a better look once we get it off the bench grinder. I'm gonna take it over the bench grinder right now, dying to see what is under. Is that rust or is that grime? That looks like rust, man. I don't think this is gonna be as nice as the number 10 I just showed you, but it's gonna turn out nice, I think. No major rustage anywhere. Any other issues are going to be repairs, like fixing these things. But this seems to be in fine working order. No reason to move it. I'm just going to clean up the solders a bit. And yeah, ham radio always going in the back, folks. My brain likes to have a number of things going on at once, just to keep me well occupied. All right, so I'm gonna go now to the bench grinder, or our parts. I'm gonna take that, clean that. This will clean up. This will clean up. This will clean up. Cool. Okay, so we'll get all this cleaned up. And then, all right, be back in a flash. Hey, wow. Look at this progress. Look at this thing's gonna be all right, man, I think. Gonna be all right. I would like to make this a dash again. I wish I had the part. I wish I had the part to go right on there. And I think, the more I've been looking at this, I think that is part of the side clip. That's what I'm thinking. I think they cut it off because I'm looking at these. They say somebody did this solder repair, but somebody didn't unsolder this. And they didn't unsolder from the glow plate. I don't know, man. I don't know if that's covering a hole. I can't imagine there being a hole. I don't know if I want to take that off or not. Okay, well, I'm going to get to work on the rest of this. I'm going to do a junk bit. Well, here, I'll start with this. This beautiful old wheel. I'll start with that. Yeah, this will get us pretty far. This will get in the corners and shit. Might even be able to get down in there and clean that baffle. Ooh, it's close, but I can do it. Not with this bit, but with a smaller one. Oh, you almost had it. Okay.
Oh, you almost had it. You gotta be quicker than that.
Let's do some cleaning here. It's making a little noise like it's uneven, and that's probably because a couple of the hairs came out on one side, making the whole thing uneven. All right, let's continue. Okay, I'm thinking about it. I'm going to take that off. Yeah, well, I think that's part of the side clip, or has something to do with the reflector and all that. I'm seeing some nice tinning underneath it, so I'm assuming this is factory. That can't be factory, man. Look at that. But I'll clean that up. So I'm going to get this off of here. I don't think there's a hole under there. I can't imagine. But if there is, I just resolder it. It'll be tinned on both sides. Why not? All right. Let's get it off of here, folks. What do you say? Ah. All right. No hole. A little bit of a dented air tube, but no hole. Okay. Let's take a closer look at that while I pick this up. Not using my bare hand. Off the floor. Interesting. Huh. Okay. Now we got some solder to get off there. And I'll put my... there we go. Oh, 3 hands. So this thing helps a lot. This thing helps a lot, man. All right. So now I'll go run over to the bench grinder real quick, clean that up so everything's kind of uniform, and then we'll take another look. Hold on a second. Okay. There we go. Huh. I don't know. All right, but I'm going to save that. I am curious. Yeah, that's not a machine cut. So somebody... yeah. Okay. All right, things are shaping up here, man. Very cool. Nice. All right. So, and this wheel seems to be holding up pretty well, man. I'm surprised. I am really very surprised. By the way, bench grinder did find some pinholes. I knew it would. Looking at the state of the burner and things. So that tank had a little water in it for a while. All right, so I'm going to continue with this wheel just a little bit more. And I'm contemplating, I think I'm going to need to check, actually, I'll do that right now. I'm going to check my parts, see if I have a crown. Let's see. No. Oh. There we go. Pull ring's different, but I can switch the pull ring. That's not a problem. Yeah, see, that's gonna come out of there. Darn. I want to make sure that these are the same because this is 1916. I'm not sure. It's definitely a different year looking at that. But this could also be from a DIETZ, this being a Wizard. So maybe it's just a little bit different for the ones made in the teens than this. Do I have another DIETZ? Do I have an old DIETZ? Well, okay, here's an example. Here is, this is number 2 Blizz. This is a 1926 Blizzard. Okay, so we'll switch the pull rings on that and our replacement. Got to get the paint off it though. That's not a problem. Love using some of these parts I got around. So okay. Nice. Okay, great. So let's get this off and look, and we'll switch the. We'll get these off, and then I will go put some paint strip around that cap or that crown. Come on, tabs, be nice to me. They look like they're gonna be all right. I was a little worried about these tabs because of this rusting happening here. But these tabs look like they're in good shape. I don't think I'm gonna have to worry. Nice. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, wizard. Ugh. Well, this is shot, unfortunately. See what it looks like with the dents pounded out. Shoot. Alright, well, yeah, it's just too far gone. That's too bad, man. It is a wizard. The holes right down the middle of the wizard. That's too bad. Still gonna save this cap though, just I don't know why. Just to say, hey, maybe somewhere down the road I'd be like, I had one, bro. Yeah, that's too bad. Oh well. 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 Alright, let's switch pull rings here. I like to keep things together, you know, but alright, plop that out, and we'll plop that in. I won't plop it in now. Oh, we'll get the paint off first. So we'll retain that, and this, and this. I'll put this down with the parts. Put this down there. All right, okay, that's viable replacement, I do think. Let me put it on the bench grinder, see if that'll get the paint off. If it's a rattle can, looks like black rattle can, we might be able to get it off with the bench grinder. Let me test. Man, it's gonna have straight up shiny tin, crazy. But well, it'll take some work to get at it with the bench grinder, but I'll get it off. Okay, be right back. I don't know how I feel about that. Ugh. I don't know, man. I wonder if there's a way I could weather that down a little bit. It's too shiny, man. Yeah. Well, I haven't finished this yet, so I might bring this to a finish that'll match this a lot more. And I'll do the finish together, so they all kind of match. You know what I mean? Wow. I was not expecting it to be that nice underneath there. And this was an old one too. Okay, so we'll continue on this. Let me clean this up though while I have a chance, because that is pretty beat up as well. Alright, so that'll be our cap. And I'm not putting this on there until we get it all done, because I may decide I want to put the Wizard one back in, because this is too nice looking. Okay.
We've taken
Alright, I'm going to take this over to the vise and see. Yikes. Yeah, boy, they really mess with this. I'm going to see if I can get that out of there, round this out a little bit. Yeah.
the door, flipped on the Grundig
Yeah.
satellite, and heard you there. WB8 UHZ, WA6DYC.
Okay, that should be working. Yeah. Okay, good. I want to make sure it clears all that stuff. Yeah, because these are built different for the dashes, right? Because of all the shit in the back, it needs to be able to fit a lot easier over all the new mechanisms that are hanging off. Okay, so see where we're at here. By the way, this came out real nice. Yeah, you can see that's brass. We'll clean that out. We'll clean this out. Yeah, that's all. Clean up this stuff while we're at it. Okay, we are back, so I think I'm just going to continue with some tools. I think now you're hearing a lot of static and voices in the back. I'm trying to listen to the end of the Bills game. I decided to leave the television and come in here and work. Bad things were happening. The Bills-Miami game, yeah, what a bummer. But it's not over yet. I still have faith. I'm going into like 2008 mode for Buffalo Bills. It's easy to kind of fall back into that because we had such a long span of that being so bad. Okay, that's enough about sports. All right. Going to pointy bit here to do the pointy bit areas. There's a lot of mud packed in, or mud or something on this thing, but pretty pesky. Okay, let's get at it. Oh, I'm gonna put my headlight on. I just picked up a string of lights, by the way, some nice kind of party light bulbs. Nice and bright. I may hang them up here, right around at the bench for lighting, because I'm really trying to get rid of shadows here. So I just might. All right, now we can get at it. go to 800 grit, do some cleaning up, and then I think I'm gonna go at these welds. I always do that. I do apologize. I always say welds instead of solders, and they're, well, you know, two metals bonded together, so that's a weld, right? Okay. And I'm looking over this, and I keep looking at this. I don't know. We're gonna see after we get this polished up how well that's gonna match. So, just when you want one that's aged, then you come up with that. Oh well. Okay. Here we go. 800 grit. Alright, so let's clean up. Let's clean this up a little bit. I got this new thing, by the way. I got a chunk of metal. This is keeping me from burning up my cutting board here. Alright, so I'm going to clean this up a bit. That's really heavy. We don't need 90% of that. We're going to get a lot of it off of here and smooth this out a little bit. Alright, where's my little solder wiping rag? As you can see, there's little chunks of solder all over this thing. So I heat it up and I wipe it off. And that's what we're going to do right here. That works a lot better. And I'll get it with some tooling. I just ran my finger across that. Of course I did. Ow, I grabbed it again. What a dummy. Okay, so I'm going to get this. I'm going to get this bit out, because I need to etch the bottom of the tank to maybe do a little solder repair on the bottom of the tank, the fount. But this, I'm going to use this, shave down this a little bit. Okay. Don't need that. That's done. That's done. Yeah, a little bit left on that one. Okay. Well, now I'm just going to kind of contour up some of what we just did here. And then we'll work on the bottom. let's repair this bottom. Let me get set up for that. Won't take me but a second. Be right back. All right, so we're gonna clean it up here with a little acetone. You can clean it up a lot, actually. Last time I tried to repair a tank, there was something leaching out of the tank, even though I was going in through the top of the tank. Whatever was in that tank was completely preventing my solder to stick. Okay. So, we got that cleaned up with some acetone. I'm going to throw some tinning flux on here. And I'm going soldering iron because these are so small. Maybe this will give me a little bit more control. I'm used to applying heat with the torch to kind of activate this tinning stuff, but let me get some other. Yeah, they're in there, good. All right. Nice. Yeah. I still want to treat the inside the tank, obviously, but yeah. I want to talk about minimalist repairs. That's awesome. Okay. Good. Well, let's leave it just like that. Or should I shave them down a little bit? Let's see. Does that go below the plane? No. Okay. All right, cool. So that's done. Now let's look at what else we got to do, if anything. This here. Trying to see how I can maybe age this a little bit. This cap. I don't want to polish it, but I also don't want to make it look like, you know, fake brushed crap. I don't know. Let's see what happens here. This is an 800 grit. I just want to drag it across because the only thing this has seen is the bench grinder. So each of these does a different thing. So let's see what we can do. All right, I think that that's a little better. It's not the
ICOM 705.
the wheel marks are nowhere near as big as they were, but we might be all right.
About I don't know, about 8 inches high. The base is about 1.5.
All right.
3.
I don't want to put something on it to age it necessarily. But I'm not going to steel wool or anything because that'll just make it mirror finish. We don't want to do that. We want to keep it dull like that.
See how that goes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That old pull ring brings the aging along a little bit. Good. Okay. So we got that. Maybe we'll just plop that on now, and we'll put the burner on, or the burner plate, or the glow plate. What am I talking about? I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. All right. Anyway, so yeah. By the way, like I've said, did I say it before? I put a new. My phone is being held by a new apparatus here temporarily until I can find something else at like Goodwill or something. You had one of those phone holders that like you can like with a big long flexible neck on it. Things that like sold like crazy when they first came out and then end up at Goodwill for like $1.99. Well, I've gone through like 3 of those because they were built so shitty like, but they work fine. They work good for the application I need here. You know, hold my phone, making my videos and stuff. Nice. And I think maybe I'll leave those dirty DIETZ like that. Yeah, okay. Match is close enough for me, I think. We'll see what it looks like after we get some oil on it, though. But I'm definitely going to keep the old Wizard crown around, for sure. Jesus, man, I wish they all went on that easy, man. Ugh. That was easy. All right, let's see. How are we doing here? Let's see, is that cooled off? Yes, all right, good.
There you go, Gary. You're part of the marketing campaign.
Okay, now I think we're gonna treat. I would like to treat the tank. And fire this thing up.
Yeah, that was unscheduled end transmission there.
Wow.
Good afternoon.
Barely. Wow, they really are baffling this. Well, one little tiny hole down in that little baffle compartment. Amazing. Oh yeah, the wick, by the way. Cleaned it up. We'll pop that back in. Had it sitting on top of the old tube radiator to dry out. We're going to treat here in a minute. But, you know, do I want to throw some seal oil in it now? And revisit this? Or not? Yeah, no. Let's just finish her up. And I'd say probably I'll treat it, and at some other time I'll fire it up. But I want to see this all done. And I know. Yeah, look at that, man. That's great. Awesome. Actually, I want to wipe off that acetone a little bit with a rag, because when acetone dries up, it looks like shit when it dries up. So you want to dry it. You want to wipe it off while it's wet, like this, and you won't get all this awful looking puddling and weird shit. Yeah, glad that went so well. That little repair there. I wouldn't be surprised though if this thing held kerosene right now. Meow. We could always try that. We could try. We can try putting a little bit in it. Maybe we'll do that. After we're done, we will plop some in down into that crazy baffle. I wish I could put a camera down that baffle while putting fluid in here. I wonder if I can do that. No, with my old thing that broke 2 days ago, I would have been able to, but not here. But boy, oh boy, this thing turned out really nice compared to what we started with. Yeah. All right. So as you can see, we got that all that bullshit just kind of tightened up a little bit there. Got that all off. Remember this thing? Remember this thing was sitting there. Yeah. All right, let's see what parts we got. Oh, yeah, I gotta work on this. Let me see. Let me work on this for a sec. Yeah, okay, good. I just hit it with the 800 grit a little bit, ran around in there. Heated my fingers up a little bit. Not just that's as much polish as I'd care to put on there, just so it matches everything here. It's not overly, you know, we're not trying to win any beauty contests here. Nice. Okay, now we'll put this back in. And I can see why those wheels were turning. There, yeah, this was a little rotted at the top, but I'm flipping it over. I'm going to cut this part off because of the baffle.
Shaky hands. There's a problem with that. Gary, I had you in mind when I said that.
All right, we'll take a hunk of this off the bottom. You saw how badly that was folded up. Yeah, you just don't want to do all that, really. Because it's going to bind up when you try to bring your wick up in. That's all bound up like that, and it's just going to be like... So you want to watch your length of wick when you got a big old baffle. Okay, so we'll put that in. We got a treat first. Yeah, let's get this out of here, this out of here. We're not gonna put any of this stuff on until we're treated up.
It sounds like Weller is a subsidiary of Icon.
All right, very nice. Here we go, folks. We are gonna oil her up, and maybe we'll try to put some fluid in there and see. We'll see if there's any little pinholes. Is that a pinhole? No. Look at that. Look at all that character coming out. Yep. That's what we're looking for. All that character that was hiding under all that shit. Now, let's take a real look at the character of this thing. Okay, so, and I cleaned up the Wizard cap. There's there's a difference here in patina for sure. You'll notice if you look for it, but we'll keep these together. I mean, this will be here for if I ever want to switch back, or if I ever sell this to somebody that does have a shroud that'll go on there. They want to keep it all original. There is the original. Okay. Now, let's get this stuff down in there. Hold it up.
The girls don't seem to.
Actually, I'm gonna try put kerosene in here first. Actually, first, I actually want to find a globe, an appropriate globe. Well, I don't have a wizard globe, but I do have believe I have a patent 1914 D-light globe that we can put in here. I'm gonna go search for that right now, and then, well, actually, let's put a little kerosene in here right now and take a look. And while I'm letting that kind of flow around a little bit, I want to watch down in there and watch kerosene come in this little tiny hole.
Way to phrase it is below what, 29
Yeah,
meters?
there it goes, going in the hole. The baffle, in the hole in the baffle. I mean. Oh. Okay, yeah, one of my little beads is leaking. Okay. So we'll have to treat the tank with some seal off. Okay, well, let me get this all dumped out here. I'm gonna have to do that on the floor. Be right back.
And it's like, wow, they broke the squelch, and I feel like I'm talking to some guy in Europe on 2 meters. Weird.
All right. Yeah, it's leaking out of one of my little holes there. But it's not rushing out like it would if that was still a hole. So we'll throw some CLO in there. And at some other point, like tomorrow, I'll fire it up. But probably won't make it into this video. We'll see.
I heard you guys talking about me listening to ham radio in the shower while I was listening to ham radio in the shower.
With the incense candles, too.
Okay, now.
Yeah, they were picking on me too.
I'm cool with kerosene getting all over stuff because I have kerosene in my linseed oil anyway. So that's
Picking on Gary, we're offering him
it's okay.
a potential.
Shit. Oh, maybe that's why they had this thing all wired up weird.
I don't know, I didn't,
Okay. What I need to do is go find another one with a bail like this. That's why they had it all wired together, because it kept popping out. I think this was a bigger loop and somehow ended up narrow like this. I think it needs to come around more globy like there.
Right, it's punched in here. Let me see if,
I gotta go look at a couple other lanterns. Of course, this is a wagon lamp, so that's kind of hard to do right here. It's extremely rare. Yeah. But I think I'm right. I think I need to, this shape is wrong. Let me look into that. All right. Well, here's a number 2 wizard.
Everything in Iceland is like, how about some fish for breakfast?
It's the freaking same thing.
How about some French fries or a fish burger?
I don't like that little crease right there. That's in the muscle. That's in the metal memory now, which is unfortunate. But I'll see if I can kind of bend that in a way
It's all Arthur.
where it needs to spring out to stay on. You know what I'm saying?
They're fishy too.
Huh. There's an intact wizard cap.
You could explain,
But
that would be great. We need sort of
this is another project, man. I'm not going to mess with this one. Not yet.
some gut-filled exclamation.
All right, I'm going to take this over. I'm going to try to do some bending here to make this
His hand gear and
a bit more acceptable here, because I ain't going to tie this back up like it was before. Give me a minute.
you know, she's gonna try
Okay, well, I've been working at this thing.
if you're suspicious of her, you probably have good reason to.
I think we're where we want to be with it. Let's see if it stays in.
Absolute shock. In addition to knowing this guy,
All right.
I haven't seen him in decades. But
Close. Closer. Yeah, that'll be just fine. Great.
also, and that was it as far as that family goes. But
All right. Yeah, a little work of bending on the with the vise. Because the top of my vise kind of is rounded like that, right? So as you widen out the vise, it gives you a bigger circle to kind of help you bend round thing over it. So that's what I did. Okay, and I found a definitely a first run of lock knobs, DIETZ globe with a 14 and 18 patent date on it. And that's as old as I can do here in the house. I got a whole case of new old stock DIETZ globes, by the way. So if you would like a new old stock DIETZ globe, I got a number of them. Not this old, but they're nice and brand new looking. They're not the new kind, but like painted on and shit. All right, so let's plop this baby on. Let's try our pull ring in its new location. Oh, that's right. There's no freaking. I don't need a lock knob because there are no globe guards on this. That's funny. There. Yeah. Boy, this is great. You know, and when I saw this with all the shit all over it and it's all tied up and all kinds of weird solder and stuff, I was a little worried. You know, not knowing what I was going to find, but luckily we got it to a delicious looking point here. This former extremely rare, from what I have found out, by the way, folks, is that the DIETZ WIZARD wagon lamp and the inspector, which I'm not sure which one this is. I'm thinking this is a wagon lamp because it had the side clip, I think. From somebody that put together, I think it was on the Kirkman site. That both those wizards, the wagon lamp and the inspector, are extremely rare. So that's what bummed me out when I saw this thing all totaled and ripped up and missing parts. So the search begins for a part. All I really need is a reflector, right? And the side clip, I suppose. I'm assuming that would be all one thing. Even just the reflector on the back. And, you know, boy, this thing's all nice and the tinning is still good. Got the holes. Man, I'm going to take a plop right on there. It won't take long at all to put that on there. So. And I would need, or want, a Buckeye lens to put in it. Wouldn't that be awesome? And officially New York. Okay, yes, it is New York, February of 16. That is the build date. This was made in the main plant in New York City. Okay. All right, let's come on down here and take a look at this baby. All right, so here we are. DIETZ WIZARD wagon lamp, or former wagon lamp, or as I would say, once a wagon lamp, always a wagon lamp, right? You almost wouldn't know by looking at it, but then you miss those globe guards, and you're like, oh, something's funky with this. And then you would see those little Buckeye mounting area there. All right, folks, that's going to do it for me, and this was fun. This was a lot of fun. And I'm glad I acquired this thing that looked like junk. And until next time, folks, thank you so much, and don't you go changing.
We'll be back with the Magic Tunes for the Armada Room's 2-hour disco swing party after this short break. Till then, Don't you go changing.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.